Welcome to this edition of Back in History. In this edition, we bring to you the full text of the speech delivered by Olusegun Obasanjo in Lagos State, Nigeria, following his appointment as successor to his boss, Murtala Mohammed, who was assassinated in a failed military coup in Lagos. Murtala Mohammed took over the reins of power as military head of state of Nigeria from July 29, 1975, and Olusegun Obasanjo was appointed to serve as his deputy. Murtala and Obasanjo went on with the task of piloting the affairs of Nigeria, but unknown to them, death was waiting by the corner for Murtala Mohammed. Murtala was in office for only 200 days, namely from July 29, 1975 to February 13, 1976. His death was a shocker to the nation, and the nation was thrown into mourning. Nigerians were united in grief over his assassination. His assassination was without resistance. He was killed at a traffic jam in Lagos on his way to work. Killed with him were his driver and ADC. They were killed by soldiers led by Lieutenant Colonel Bokasoka Dimka. Murtala had no escort vehicle or security backup with him, thus making his assassination seamless. Murtala died on the spot, and from Lagos, he was taken by air to Kano, where he was laid to rest. Following his death, his deputy Olusegun Obasanjo was called upon to accept the mantle of leadership and steer the ship of the nation. Obasanjo initially rejected the invitation, but his military colleagues impressed on him to accept the leadership of the country and avoid uncertainty, and to also serve as a clear indication that the coup plotters had failed. Obasanjo then accepted the invitation, but before making any formal speech, he first accompanied the body of his boss to the airport and gave a final salute before the departure of the remains to Kano by air. Later that evening, Olusegun Obasanjo delivered a speech to the nation. Here is a full text of the speech. Unquote. Fellow citizens, we are once again passing through a critical period in the history of this country. For me personally, this has been one of the saddest moments in my life. The Supreme Military Council has already announced the assassination of His Excellency General Murtala Mohammed. We all mourn the passing away of one of the greatest sons of Nigeria. I had the privilege of serving as Chief of Staff, Supreme Headquarters under him, and I had no doubt in my mind that the late General Murtala Mohammed gave this country a unique sense of direction and purpose. We are all now obliged to continue with these policies laid down by the Supreme Military Council under the dynamic leadership of General Murtala Mohammed. He went on to say, from the account of the tragic incidents gathered so far, the late head of state was shot yesterday on his way to the office. His ADC, Lieutenant Akinshe Inwa, his orderly and driver who were with him in the car were also killed. The governor of Kwara State, Colonel Ibrahim Taiwo, who was abducted yesterday, was shot dead and his body found in a shallow grave outside Ilorin. Colonel Ray Dumuje was shot and wounded in another location in Lagos on his way to the office. This dastardly act was committed by a few dissident troops organized by Lieutenant Colonel B.S. Dimka of the Nigerian Army Physical Training Corps. Many arrests have already been made, and the Supreme Military Council has set up a military board of inquiry into the incident and the planning of the assassinations. I wish to assure the nation that the Supreme Military Council has taken a firm decision that all those to be found guilty will be summarily dealt with in a military way. I therefore appeal to all sections of Nigerians not to take the law into their hands, but to be rest assured that the federal military government will see to it that justice is done. He continued, as you have heard in the statement by the Supreme Military Council, I have been called upon against my personal wish and desire to serve as the new head of state. But I have accepted this honor in the interest of the nation and in the memory of the late head of state. I know that he would have wished that somebody should continue the task of nation building from where he left off. I have worked very closely with him and have shared his beliefs and commitments to the federal military government's policies and actions. I believe and feel strongly committed to all we have been doing, and I can pay him no better tribute than to continue in the spirit with which he led this country, that of complete dedication. All policies of the federal military government continue as before, and all ministries should continue their usual duties. This tragic incident can only lead to greater dedication to the upliftment and progress of this nation. He went on to say, still on quote, "This situation was brought so swiftly under control because of the loyalty and dedication of the armed forces and the police. The armed forces and police deserve all praise and appreciation from the government and people of this country. Reports have also reached me from all over the country of public support from various sections of the community. The federal military government is very much gratified by this demonstration of loyalty and support." At the end of the 7-day mourning period, which was announced earlier, Friday the 20th of February 1976 is hereby declared a public holiday to enable Nigerians to offer special prayers in all places of worship. He concluded thus, still on quote, "Finally, I would like to appeal to all of you for calm and to avoid any action that might cause a breach of the peace. This is a period that calls for continuous vigilance, and it is the duty of one and all to maintain this vigilance in order to preserve the stability of the nation." End of quote. Obasanjo went on to govern the country with the governors and the other members of his cabinet. He remained in power from 1975 to 1978 when he handed over power to a democratically elected person, Alhaji Shehu Shagari. He was thus instrumental to the return of Nigeria to democratic rule. Murtala Mohammed was a general in the Nigerian army. He was born in Kano on the 8th day of November 1938. He attended the famous Barewa College and later attended the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, in the United Kingdom. He was the brain behind the relocation of the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria from Lagos to Abuja. He was only 37 years old at the time of his death. He was married to Yoruba Princess Ajoke Mohammed, and the marriage was blessed with 6 children. Thanks for watching this edition of Back in History, and do remember to subscribe to the channel or follow the page for regular notification on every new video. I remain your friend and host, Ekemini Udim.